I'm going to start my story by asking how many people went to Greektown in downtown Detroit. Back in the day, before we had a casino, before the only reason you went there was for the ethnicity, the wonderful food, the atmosphere of being in the city, but feeling like you might be in Greece, because this was a Greek neighborhood starting around the 50s, 40s. Detroit was next to New York in its vibrancy. Greektown was right in the middle of the mix, right by Eastern Market. The Germans who originally populated this area of the city had moved north, and now the Greek people had moved in and certainly were running a very vibrant neighborhood down Monroe Street, Beaubien. This story begins just before the Second World War in the late 30s. I knew about Greektown because my husband was a fireman in the city for over 35 years, and he ran many of the companies right down by Eastern Market and Greektown.
Well, we collect the money, we go out shopping, and one of our stops was Greektown. There was a bakery in Greektown that was really good because they had great bread. Good place. A lot of mafia people would, and then we'd go back to the firehouse and cook.
Detroit Police Headquarters was right around the corner at 1300 Beaubien. The policemen were a big part of this story. They're all in this neighborhood, around where the firemen would hang out, around where all the thugs and the criminals hung out. It's what you call a colorful neighborhood. The infamous person I speak of, known as Greektown Stella, was a woman who came here in 1938 as a mail-order bride. It's believed she came from the Greek island of Samos to marry John Paris, a Greektown restaurant owner. She then had 3 sons, Michael in 39, Anthony 1940, and Gus in 46. But for some reason after that, they said she became schizophrenic. In the coming years, Stella would be cared for by the shopkeepers in Greektown, who obviously knew her, and by the policemen who did their rounds up and down Greektown, because Beaubien, the headquarters, was right around the corner. She used to open the newspaper boxes outside the Detroit Police Headquarters with a donated coin and take all the papers to make a bed to sleep on. The midnight shift was often known to let Stella sleep inside 1300 Beaubien on those freezing Detroit winter nights. I called her infamous because Stella wasn't quiet. She railed against the Turks and the things that she had seen back in Greece. She was not a fan of genocide and spoke about it, screamed about it on the streets of Monroe. The Detroit policemen and women called her their mascot and often donated old badges and chevrons that she proudly wore up and down the streets of Greektown. As the neighborhood changed and the old Greek restaurants started to slowly disappear and become Starbucks and other upscale restaurants, Stella was there right into the 2000s. The story goes when she was about 85, she had a condition that took her to the hospital, and from there she was moved to a nursing home on the boulevard where she spent her last days. One of the Greektown regulars said he visited her in the nursing home where she seemed happy and was always smiling when he went to visit. Stella would pass away in January of 2011 at 96 and was laid to rest at Annunciation's Greek Orthodox Church. She's buried at the Woodmere Cemetery. When her son Anthony, who lived in Livonia, was told about her death, he said they all thought she had died when she disappeared from Greektown 15 years ago. So now Greektown sits in the shadow of something new, which is fine, progress goes on. But don't you feel better knowing that people in a community still care for each other, even a street lady? Rest in peace, Stella Paris.